Good day. Let's talk kombucha. Now, I'm not going to talk about benefits and health and all that stuff. You're here because you want to see how it's made. So right here is a starter's kit. Now, you can get just the little Scoby. I believe there's 3s and 5s. 5s will do up to a gallon. So this kit right here comes with the starter tea right there and the Scoby. Now, I recommend using the kit because the starter tea, it's night and day on how much faster you can get your first batch. So what you're going to need is a 1-gallon jar. Now, they say to use cheesecloth and bourbon, but I believe in using the bubblers. You're going to need 9 tea bags, black tea bags. Lipton is what I use. Or you can use 3 of the family size tea bags. You're going to need your Scoby and your starter's tea. If you don't have starter's tea and you just buy the Scoby itself, then you'll need some either store-bought kombucha or some, I believe, apple cider vinegar will work. And you're going to need 1 cup of sugar and 1 gallon of water. Now, city tap water is fluorinated and carbonated and whatever carbonated, bleached and all that junk that they do. So you're either going to need spring water, bottled water, or like with me, I have well water. So, or you can go and collect rainwater. That's an option too. I've seen people buying this at the store, and it kind of cracks me up how much they're spending versus how much it costs to start up and make your own. And then to maintain is pennies on the dollar to actually make your own kombucha. Now, I'm doing it for my own reasons. Digestive, I believe that the gut is the key way to health, and this is one of the best ones. Now, I've done kombucha in the past for many years, and I stopped about a year ago and gave away my Scoby, the mother, whatever you want to call it, because it's known as a Scoby, but it's also known as the mother. And I gave away the mother, and I stopped doing it for a little bit, but I'm getting back into it. So enough jabber about this. Let's get into making it. What you're going to want to do is get a pot going with about 4 cups of water. Get it boiling, and you're going to add that 1 cup of sugar in there and get it dissolved. All right, got the water boiling. Put it on low. Add in your sugar. Give it a stir and get this all completely incorporated in. Get it all dissolved, I guess you would say. This is where you're going to take your 9 standard tea bags or your 3 family size tea bags. You're going to add it in. Bloop. Okay, so now that that's in, you're going to recover. Let it simmer for about 2 minutes. Turn off the heat and let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes more. So while we're waiting for this to steep, some fun facts and some interesting facts is that you can actually make what's called June tea by using a green tea. I've done that. It comes out really nice. Some other facts that your Scoby will make another Scoby. That's why they call it the mother. And then you'll end up making a Scoby hotel, which later I will get into and do a video on. But this will replicate another Scoby and keep going. And there's a lot you can do with them. You can dehydrate them. You can freeze them, feed them to the chickens, put them in the compost. So I feel that I make like a hotel, and then when people find out I'm drinking kombucha, like in the past they ask for a Scoby, I give them a Scoby. Now I have in the past got my Scoby big enough to where I was brewing 5 gallons of kombucha every month. So just some interesting stuff. So we'll be back here in about 15 minutes once this thing has simmered down. All right, so it has been a few minutes, about 20, a little bit longer. I actually vacuumed while I was waiting. So let's get this over the sink and let's add some cold water. Now, like I said, if you're on city water, don't use city water. Get some cold water added to this thing, get it cooled down. Now let's get your jar ready. Now the jar is clean already, but when you are cleaning your jar, do not use antibacterial soap. It will ruin the it'll kill the bacteria in the SCOBY. So that's getting in ready to be put into here, and then we're going to top it off with roughly 3/4 of the way with cold water to get that really cold, because we do not want to add the SCOBY into the hot bath. Okay, now let's go and make sure first of all that this is not so hot that it cracks the glass, shocks it. Let's get in here with clean hands, of course. Ooh, that's warm. That's warm, but still, it's okay. It's okay. Yes, my hands are clean. Now let's just add, without adding the tea bags and making a big mess. That's still a little warm. Let's fill it up cold water. About to there. Now that you've made a mess, see how I said you, not me? I didn't do it. Alright, so by the feel of the glass, it's at about 100. I'm going to let that cool down for a few more minutes, then we'll get back to it. Alright, just cool down to about 85 really nicely. So let's get the starter tea, live culture. You can see that the bottom, I don't know if you can see that, but the bottom is actually pushed out on this one, and it's kind of wonky. But let's add the starter tea in here. Now when you bottle this, you'll get some small little mothers in the tea itself that's safe to drink. You'll see like little squimmies. Swimmies. I always make up my own words. Have you noticed, guys? Notice that? Okay, let's get some more cold water. Let's top it off to the 1 gallon mark. Give it a little bit of a stir. Get that starter tea all mixed in there nice and happy. Now, gently, with your clean hands, introduce the mother to its home. Now she's going to float to the surface shortly, but you can kind of think you can see her in there. She's all floating around. So now you're going to add your, this is where you would add if you're going to use cheesecloth to cover it, or your lid and your bubbler. And you're going to leave this in a cool, dark place for approximately 7 to 21 days. You'll learn once you start doing this how you like your SCOBY and how you are your kombucha. I'm a 21 to 30 day type of person. I like that strong kombucha taste. So there it is. And this is the funny thing, is that I'm actually using a kimchi jar. I use a lot of these kimchi jars. So, but there it is. That's how you do a SCOBY. So what I will do here shortly is, when this is done, I will come back in and do another video of the second fermentation, and that's where you're going to add fruits to it, fruit juices and sugars. Now your second fermentation does not have to be done, but what a second fermentation does is it makes it bubbly, and you're going to want to use some pretty good jars or some good bottles to do that, because there's a lot of pressure built up in it. But you can add blueberry and peach and different flavors to it, and do a second ferment, make it bubbly like a soda, and enjoy it that way. So we'll get to that and the Scoby Hotel here shortly, once this thing starts making up some friends and some siblings, I guess you would say. So there it is. Hey, you guys all stay safe, keep your head on a swivel. If you like what you see, please like, follow, comment, tell a friend.